I've spent so much time talking about the despicable state of modern entertainment that I forget that there are actually things out there that I thoroughly enjoy, and I think I should start talking about them a little bit more every now and then, especially when it's two things combined into one: video games and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In this little article from Polygon, I found out last week beloved TMNT graphic novel The Last Ronin is becoming a video game. This had me all excited, especially since I had just recently picked up the graphic novel, read it, and it is absolutely fantastic. I sat and read all 5 issues in one sitting. I loved it. I first discovered the Ninja Turtles in the black and white comic from Easton and Laird way back in 1986, 85. I picked up the first 2 graphic novels, Volume 1 and Volume 2, which I believe is the first 6 episodes. After that, it was nothing but black and whites, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. I was excited when there were a few adaptations, some changes, and everything. All in all, the Saturday morning cartoon wasn't terrible. I didn't really like it, Bebop and Rocksteady. But anyway, one iteration after another. The live action movies, the original was good. I didn't care for the Michael Bay garbage, but when Eastman and Laird got together and did The Last Ronin, I was excited. It took me a very long time to pick them up, but I did nonetheless, and they were absolutely fantastic. Wonderful story, wonderful end to the beloved Ninja Turtles. But in this article, we have The Last Ronin inspired by action RPGs like God of War. I can't seem to find what studio is involved in this. Maybe this article can give me shed a new light. A new, very different style of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game is currently in development by who? An adaptation of the absolutely fantastic Last Ronin. I added that. The 2020 graphic novel that told a grim, futuristic story about the Turtles. They talk about such a grim tale, and it's only grim and dark and more mature if you base it on the modern iterations of the Ninja Turtles. Go back and read the original black and white comic, and you'll understand that there's nothing. Being mature in the Ninja Turtles storyline is not new. The Foot Clan were people, they were killed. Like the comic, the Last Ronin video game adaptation will be darker, good, more mature, good, take on the typically colorful Ninja Turtles, according to Doug Rosen, Senior Vice President for Games and Emerging Media of Paramount Global, the rights holder for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In an interview with Polygon last week, Rosen likened the upcoming third-person action role-playing game to Sony's recent God of War titles, and said it will be authentic to the story of the Last Ronin arc, which is set in the future where only one turtle has survived. I think the article gets into a few spoilers for the comic. If you haven't read it, go and read it. If you love the Ninja Turtles, go read the comic. It's fantastic. This has me excited, quite unlike the Mutant Mayhem garbage that's releasing in August from Seth Rogen. He doesn't have a very good track record as of late. Don't watch Santa Inc. It's terrible. So, I don't know. This could be a breath of wonderful fresh air between this and between the Last Ronin comic and a video game based on it. If you tell a good story, adapt it from the pages of the comics into the interactive medium of video games, this could be an absolute hit. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed some of the older games. I believe this article goes into it. But let's see what else they say. Yes, here we go. Other TMNT games like last year's Shredder's Revenge, that was fun. It really was. It was a throwback to the old arcade box with 4 separate control sticks. Did I say that? Control sticks. Oh boy. Typically about playing as all 4 turtles. Well, you can't really... and Splinter, April, and Casey Jones, badass. Last Ronin, obviously, you won't be able to do that because, well, here, spoiler alert, 3 of the turtles are dead, hence the title, The Last Ronin. It's not a spoiler, you learned that in the very beginning of the comic book. The identity of that remaining turtle was something of a mystery. I believe it's Donatello. No, it's Mikey. I just read the damn thing. Our story was built around a Ninja Turtle who wore a black mask and fought using all 4 turtles' signature weapons. So, Publisher IDW launched The Last Ronin in 2020 in a 5-issue miniseries. Art was written by Kevin Eastman, based on an idea he first conceived with TMNT co-creator Peter Laird back in the 80s. Like The Last Ronin comic book series, the video game will target an older audience because really that's the only people buying video games nowadays, right? It will be a mature game if so. Well, just like the recent collaboration with Call of Duty that brings Shred. I don't even want to see that. Rosen said there are opportunities for multiple TMNT games aimed at both young and more mature age groups, and that Paramount can take, quote, multiple approaches to the franchise and not dial back to make the game something it shouldn't be. So the issue you're going to run into there is if you make The Last Ronin and it says Ninja Turtles on the front, parents are going to buy that for their kids, and it may not be what the parents like. I'm sure the kids will like it because it's Ninja Turtles. It's mature. I was 8. Oh, God, I'm aging myself. No, I was 10, 12, 10, 11. I was about 11 years old when I started with the Ninja Turtles. 10 or 11. Oh, God, that was so long ago. So seeing a mature take in a comic book where death is definitely involved, it's not something all that extravagant. Kids are playing more mature video games. I mean, come on, Call of Duty. If mutant Ninja Turtles are running around killing people, hey, what kind of a stretch is that? Just a video game. I went off on a tangent. Last Ronin video game adaptation is being developed by an unnamed studio, but why? We need to know the studio, because that's another one that's going to be important. Kawabun Collection, I'm going to pick that up. Likely a few years off from release, Rosen said. So, 2 things are going to be important. What style the video game will take, obviously. What's the look? What's the feel? What's the style going to be? How will the graphics be realistic? Will they be more akin to what you see in the comic book? And who will be the developing studio? Who's going to be in charge of transferring this wonderful story into a video game? I'm excited nonetheless. Way more excited for something like this than I am for Mutant Mayhem, although I will go see it and I will criticize it. So tell me what you think. That's all I've got to say on that. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good one.